Welcome to Fireside Chats. Just real talk, real faith, and the moment God meets us in. I'm glad you're here. Let's talk. There are dates on a calendar that never leave you. You don't need a reminder on your phone. Your body remembers. Your spirit remembers. Your heart remembers. For me, one of those dates is November the 14th, 2024. But not everything in my life shattered. I want to talk about it tonight. Not because it's easy, but because somebody listening needs to hear that God can pull you out of the darkest place imaginable. That day, I was in a level of pain I didn't know how to describe. Months of panic attacks, years of fear, and weeks of being triggered at work, being told I was faking it, being sent home, breaking down, and trying to hold everything together while my mind was falling apart. I didn't know how to explain what was happening to me inside of my head, and it was turning into a prison with a life sentence. And on November the 14th, something inside me snapped. I reached a point where I genuinely believed the world would be better off without me. I didn't feel hopeless. I felt gone. I felt like my life was collapsing inward, and I didn't have the strength to pull myself back. Earlier in that day, I crossed the line of my thinking. I made preparations no one should ever make. I didn't just want to disappear. I started planning to. My intention wasn't to hurt anyone. It wasn't anger. It wasn't revenge. It was exhaustion. Pain. Fear. This overwhelming belief that I was a burden, that I was beyond repair, and that my absence would cause less harm than my presence. I thought, if I go far enough away, maybe no one will have to deal with the pieces of me anymore. That's how dark it was. That's how heavy it felt. But somehow, by a mercy I still can't fully explain, I didn't go through with it. I ended up lying in bed that night, staring at the ceiling, my heart racing, my thoughts spiraling, feeling like I was trapped in my own body. I didn't sleep 1 minute, not one, but that was normal now. I felt like the night would never end, like I was stuck in this suspended place between existing and disappearing. And when the sun finally came up, or whatever you call that gray hour where you're still praying you're alive, I waited for the clock to reach the opening time for the office that I'd found online in the middle of the night. The moment they opened, I called. My voice was shaking. I could barely get words out. They didn't ask for details. They didn't put me on hold. They didn't schedule me for next week. They said, "You need to come in right now." I left. And when I pulled into that lot, I was barely keeping it together. I walked up to the door, and there was someone standing there, waiting on me, looking at me with a concern that said, "You're safe now. We've got you." Within 20 minutes, I was sitting in her office, the psychologist who would change my life. Still trembling, still exhausted, still somewhere between fear and collapse. And on November the 15th, 2024, she spoke words over me that finally made sense of the storm inside me. You're dealing with PTSD, severe anxiety, depression, and insomnia. I just sat there, empty, relieved, ashamed, but seen, all at the same time. Because finally, there was a name for what I'd been fighting. Finally, I understood I wasn't weak. I was wounded. I realized I wasn't crazy. I was hurt. And more than that, I realized I wasn't alone. I didn't walk out healed, but I walked out alive. And that was a miracle by itself. This year that followed was not easy. Healing isn't fast, it isn't cute, it isn't linear. There were a lot of nights that I still cried, days that I still felt numb. In moments, the enemy tried to whisper the same lies that he did that night. But slowly, gently, and faithfully, God began to rebuild me, even though I didn't know it. Initially through therapy, initially through medication, through rest, but then through surrender, then through worship, through the revival services earlier this year where I received my healing. When the Holy Spirit spoke, when that fire hit my chest, and when God said, if you keep me first, you won't have to worry about anything. Through the vision, the fire coming out of these Appalachian mountains, burning away everything dead, awakening everything sleeping. Through the birth of mountain fire, the calling that he placed inside me long before I knew I needed it. Isaiah 43:2 became real to me. When you pass through the waters, I will be with you. Not if, when. Psalm 34:18 became real. The Lord is close to the brokenhearted. Not the strong, not the put together, the brokenhearted. And 2 Corinthians 1:10 became my anchor. He delivered me then, he delivers me now, and he will deliver me again. I'm sharing this because someone listening right now is where I was. You feel like disappearing, you feel like you're a burden, you feel like you're slipping away. Hear me. You are not better off gone. You are not beyond help. You are not alone. You are not too far gone for God to reach you. You are not too broken for God to rebuild you. And you're not too lost for God to find you. If Jesus could keep me breathing through the darkest night of my life, he can keep you. If God could pull me back when I was right up against the edge, he can pull you back. If he could rebuild me from the inside out, he can rebuild you. 1 year later, I'm still here. Not because I'm strong, not because I've got it together, but because the God who loves me refused to let go. And if he did it for me, he'll do it for you. You don't have to hide. You don't have to pretend you're okay. You don't have to handle this alone. Reach out. Tell someone. Let God meet you where you are. Because 1 year later, I can tell you with confidence, that fire that almost consumed me became the fire God used to transform me. And he can do the same for you. Thanks for tuning in to this fireside chat. If today's conversation spoke to you, share it with someone who needs it. And stay connected with everything happening at Mountain Fire. And listen, if you're listening to this and you're in a dark place, don't fight it alone. You can call or text 988 at any time. Somebody will pick up. Somebody will listen. There is a way out of what you're facing. And before you do anything else, talk to God. Even if it's messy. Even if it's only a whisper. He hears you, even when you don't feel him. I'll see you all in the next one. Love y'all.